So you click this video because you're interested in learning more about WordPress development. Excuse me, I would say CMS development or CMS management. Let me take these headphones off. And you want to learn more about how we approach it, what our specific flavor is, and how it applies to you, right? So basically, I've spent a lot of time, not as the most time, I've spent the most time, I spent the most time, more time than anybody, more time. I spent a lot of time studying CMSs and trying to find the best way to approach building for them. And every CMS has their own way of handling things, which is very difficult because the fundamentals are the same, right? But it's always lost in how the application layer is built, right, or assembled. And a lot of times each CMS has its own abstraction layer on top of things, so it makes it even more difficult to work with. Looking at you, Magento. So basically, what we do is we work with WordPress. I have a love-hate relationship with WordPress. I don't hate it for any specific reason. I think I hate it because it's just so boring, right? Mostly, it's a good thing. It's a good platform. You know, there's nothing exactly wrong with it. I know this isn't the best selling video for WordPress, but if you check it out, it's what we use currently, right? We're currently hosted on WordPress. And so I would say it's the default choice for the vast majority of websites in the world. And so if you make a choice to host on WordPress, you're not alone. Over 70 million other people have chosen right along with you. And I like to default to the thought that people have a little bit of intelligence and collectively they have a lot, right? So there's a reason why people are choosing WordPress. Mostly it's because it's simplicity, right? Now, WordPress has a huge vulnerability because its strength becomes its vulnerability. Its strength because it's a nice light platform. That becomes its vulnerability because you need to supplement WordPress with plugins. And WordPress core in and of itself is a very secure architecture platform for, you can even use it for an API, right? Like it's very, very good. But when you build your website with nothing but third-party plugins and resources, oftentimes you leave yourself open to, vulnerabilities, to say the least, right? So what we try to do is we try to limit our use of third-party plugins, and we employ PHP developers here in-house to make sure that our use case is very limited. So what we try to do is build whatever we don't have, right? And so there's like a good housekeeping seal, like a good housekeeping seal of approval. What we like to say is if you get something from Evolving Software, it's basically a seal that this is signed, sealed, and delivered. It's secure. You shouldn't really ever have to worry about it. You get a warranty with it. It's updates are made to it regularly, all that type of stuff, right? So when you buy something from us, you shouldn't have to keep checking on it, right? It should just take care of itself, right? This is software. Software can do these things, and so that's the way we like to approach things. And we can't say that every single developer out there has those same ideals as us, right? And so we have to acknowledge that, because if we're going to be using an open source product, an open source platform, then we have to understand that we leave ourselves open to open source vulnerabilities, right? And so while we are in the market, open source, we're in the community, we don't always recommend using third-party plugins for everything. Now, that doesn't mean we're completely against third-party plugins, but what it does mean is that we're going to default to doing things the way that WordPress suggests, which is natively using the WordPress provided tools or creating plugins and themes specifically for WordPress that fit your use case, right? So that's the way we approach things, and we tailor WordPress to your organization, right? So if there's other things you need to do on there besides blog, we can tailor WordPress to do that as well, right? So that's the point of software. It's to make your life easier. It's not to be complicated or hard. And I think a lot of times people get lost in the simplicity and because of that, they create complexity, and it doesn't help anybody, right? So we like to keep things simple. We like to take our time. We like to write really good code. And so that's how we approach things, and we build custom themes, and we have great designers, and we build things to your brand. And if you don't have a brand, we can help you make a brand, all that type of stuff. And if you need somebody to host it, if you need a recommendation on where to host it, if you need somebody to manage it, we got all those things taken care of for you, excuse me, for a nice low monthly rate, as you can see. That's all I got for you. If you're interested in learning more, then you should fill out the form below and get to it. Thank you so much. My name is Riley Seberg. I'm the owner of Evolving Software, and I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Thank you. Bye. I said bye like it's on a phone call.